This is the fully electric BMW i5 G60 eDrive 40, and this is my full review of it. Welcome to It's Only Electric. Let's start with some exterior facts. This is a big sedan from BMW measuring 506 centimeters in total length with a wheelbase of 299 centimeters. Weighs in at just under 2.2 tons. And as you see, it has a really long hood, and you may wonder why the heck does a fully electric car has a hood like this, and it doesn't even have a frunk. The answer is this is a hybrid platform, meaning that BMW needs to be able to squeeze in a biturbo V8 in the same vehicle. So that's the main reason. Equipped with the M package, meaning blue M brake calipers, M emblem, a different front, a bit sportier and a more aggressive looking front than the standard edition. In this case, not equipped with the original M wheels. This is the winter wheels, the winter setup. Looks a bit more classical than M wheels. I would prefer the other ones. 19-inch, 245/45 Michelin studless winter tires all around, so a non-staggered setup. The M package also brings the M suspension, a bit sportier and a bit lower than the standard suspension. A blue logo on top stating that this is a fully electric vehicle, a closed grille, kidney grille, not as big as on the i4, the beaver grille. This one looks a bit better and more classic. A built-in frontal view camera for the parking assistance system, active ventilation here underneath, and this is the M Sport package look from the front, a bit more aggressive and good looking if you ask me. Equipped with the Shadowline package, giving you glossy black trims all around the car, gives the car a bit of a sportier and modern look than going for the other trims. So the eDrive 40 is equipped with a permanent magnet motor here at the rear axle, so rear wheel drive only, delivering 340 horsepower or 250 kilowatts, 400 newton meters of torque. Should be able to do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6 seconds flat, and a top speed of 193 kilometers per hour. And when it comes to the battery pack, it has a NMC battery pack with a gross capacity of 84 kilowatt hours and a net capacity of 81.2 kilowatt hours. And that translates into 560 kilometers of WLTP range for this current specification. The charge port is placed at the rear right side of the car, not the optimal position if you want to utilize Tesla's supercharging network. When it comes to charging, DC charging, fast charging with a top speed of 205 kilowatts, should be able to charge from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. Home charging, AC charging, 11 kilowatts and 3-phase support. It's time for a short break. I just want to remind you to always subscribe, like and engage. Very important for my channel to survive and to help me continue what I'm doing. What you can do on top of that is getting a member of my channel. As a member, you get access to videos before everyone else, unique emojis, priority replies, and on top of that, access to all my test data, range tests, noise tests, acceleration tests for all the cars I have ever tested. Let's continue. And to the favorite angle of the car, the rear end. So uncomplicated, so sophisticated, so powerful. Really my favorite angle, my favorite design feature of the car. That's the rear end, especially the tail light. So easy, but yet so good looking. Let's check the practical aspects of the car. Equipped with a powered liftgate, that's extra. 490 liters of total boot capacity. A lot of extra storage here underneath for storing cables, but even more than that. Foldable seats split into 3 parts, 40, 20, 40. So a foldable midsection for some added practicality. This one is equipped with a fully electric tow hitch, with a tow capacity of 1,500 kilograms. So in total, despite being a sedan, a fairly practical car. Let's have a look at the interior. Equipped with the smoke white Veganza. Veganza is another word for leatherette or fake leather that BMW is using. So heated seats at the 2 outer positions. So equipped with a 4-zone klima, that's also extra and included in the comfort package, giving you a control screen here at the rear for controlling temperature, activating and deactivating the seat heating too. 2 USB-C port on top of that, manually adjustable air ventilations, both here in the midsection, but also on the B pillars for some extra convenience here at the back seat. USB-C ports also here, and this is the connection for screens and attachments, also extra. When it comes to comfort in general, really nice seats with a decent thigh support for being a back seat, and I'm really tall, so 193 centimeters tall or 6'4". I'm keeping repeating that in every video just so I make sure that you understand that I'm probably not the perfect guy to put in the back seat, but as you clearly see here, I really fit because the front seat, the driver's seat, is adjusted after my driver position. So two tall persons can actually sit in a row without any problem. Very easy to squeeze your feet underneath the front seat. So good space for your feet and also for your knees. One usual problem with sedans is the headroom here at the rear. As you see, I stretch out and lean backwards, and I still don't touch it. I feel it with my hair, but I have like 1.5 finger of extra headroom here before touching the headliner. So both legroom and headroom is good here at the back seat. This is the central armrest with 2 adaptive cup holders. Really nice. And on top of that, you can fold the midsection here without ruining the 2 outer spots, so you can travel 2 grown-ups with this one down. So the headrests here at the back are good and comfortable and adjustable in Y-axis only, so up and down will fit most people. And whilst talking about the headrest, as you see, there is a black accent on top of the rear backrests, and that's like creating a optical illusion of having 2 separate seats here at the rear. Really clever design from BMW here, especially together with this white and black contrasts. When it comes to the materials here at the rear, they are the same as in the front. Soft touch here at the top, nice feel to the door lever, and a cushioned armrest in this white Veganza, or smoke white Veganza as BMW calls it. A small door pocket for storing a bottle or some other small stuff, and built-in ambient lighting in those areas. One thing that I miss is this crystal ambient lighting details here at the back. Would have been great to have a light banner going through the rear end here of the door to create more of a ambient and cozy situation here at the back seat. So that's sad. For this price point, I would expect the car to have proper ambient lighting in this section. Let's jump over to the front row. So well in the front, you can't confuse it with anything else. This is really a BMW, and there is a lot of BMW DNA here. A not so deep dashboard, soft touch materials here at the top, built-in speakers, a head-up display that's also extra, works really good and flawless. You have all the information you need just in front of your eyes on the windshield. Really good information, not really on par with Volkswagen or Mercedes, but one of the better ones on the market. On top of the dashboard, there is actually the curved built-in double display. Looks the same as in the i4, 2 separate screens. In front of the driver, a 12.3-inch instrument cluster. To the right, the main screen is 14.9-inch. More about the operating system and the functions later. A new built-in ambient lighting, this kind of a crystal designed ambient lighting. Now it's set to sport mode, and you have the red and blue colors, the M Sport colors integrated into that. Also comes with a specific driving sound paired with the driving dynamics of the car, and depending on the drive mode you're actively driving on for the moment. This is also a M package trim called Alumi Rombi Bombi, something like that, but it is real aluminum. Great feel to that one, some kind of a texture, rhomb-shaped texture to it. When it comes to the central compartment here, really sturdy built and wide central compartment with a Qi charger here to the left. The right side is not active, so no Qi charger here. 2 adaptive cup holders with built-in ambient lighting. On top of that, the control panel where you have the iDrive system, and this is one of the most convenient features when it comes to BMW's iDrive system. You can control everything from this compartment. You never need to touch the screen. Even if it is a touchscreen, you can use everything from the panel here. So that's really convenient. A bit hard though to find all the functions. Most of it are actually haptic touch buttons, so I rather use the iDrive scroll wheel to find the right functionality. Otherwise it feels easier to use the screen than trying to find these buttons here. The good thing is the volume knob, really nice feel to that one. That's a good addition to this central compartment here. Start and stop button, so when you get into the car you need to start it up, fire up the ignition. Then you have the gear selector. Very nice and small and tidy design here from BMW. Central storage, very small storage, but instead of that you have a glove box, also fairly small, companioned by small door pockets. So storage is a bit lacking. It's complicated to buy a BMW, so let's continue with the comfort package. The comfort package adds ventilated and heated seats here to the front, also heated at the back, as I mentioned earlier. And whilst talking about the ventilation, a new thing with the G60 is the small knobs here. Nice feel to them, rubberized knobs. This is actually to control the airflows. So manual airflow control feels like it's like steer by wire or controlled by wires, because you see when they move they are really analog. So this is to direct and manage the airflow of the ventilation on the different spots in the car. I think this is a complicated way for solving a thing, but maybe this is a better way of controlling the ventilations than having it fully digital and controlled on the screen. Let me know in the comments below and let us have a discussion. What do you think is the best? Fully digital or this kind of sophisticated, small rubberized controls of the ventilation? As it is equipped with the M package, you also get the M steering wheel. And this is one of the parts I really love with the M packages, because the M steering wheels is really, for me, class leading, because I love the feel of it. They are thick and there is really a good amount of steering wheel to hold on, and kind of like easygoing design, not too complicated like in a Mercedes for instance, but good and modern looking steering wheel. Heated in this case, with controls on both sides. On the right side you have the media controls, but also the instrument cluster control where you can change and adjust the view you're looking at. So media, instrument cluster and phone control here. You also have the voice assistant most further to the right. And to the left you have the drive assist functionality where you can activate, deactivate, change the mode, set the speed, increase, decrease, the distance, etc. Everything of that is controlled on the left side on the steering wheel. Electrical adjustable with a knob here to the left for controlling it. Makes it very easy and convenient to adjust after your driver position. So all in all, a great package and a good looking steering wheel, and companioned with a big and tidy instrument cluster. One thing to complain about may be the stocks. Feels a bit cheap compared to the older BMWs I have driven. Doesn't really match the rest of the interior. Feels a bit too cheap and plasticky for such a expensive car. Equipped with the comfort package, the M package and the hi-fi system from Harman Kardon. Let's talk about the hi-fi system for a brief moment. It consists of 12 speakers and a 7-channel amplifier. Gives you a good sound system. Not the most premium sound system I have tried, but there is also a even better sound system that's possible to equip this car with. Really think that this sound system should be the standard sound system for such an expensive car, but what do I know? Let's talk about the seats. This is not the M Sport seats, this is the comfort or normal regular seats for this car. Somewhere in between sporty and comforty, a good blend I would say. Fully powered, great lumbar support. So the headrests adjustable in 2 directions, manually adjustable X-axis direction, and on the screen you adjust the Y-axis Really nice features, so you can really get into a good position. Not that soft. I would have wished for a bit more of a cushioning, at least a bit softer. And one amazing feature with the seats is actually the thigh support. This is by far the best thigh support I have ever tried. Maybe the only thigh support that really supports my body in the right way, because I'm tall and I usually have a problem with getting the right angle and the right support for my legs. This is really amazing. I can even move it up too much for my legs. So you can be even taller than me and still feel perfectly fine in these seats and get your perfect support for long driving trips. So this is a really big plus for tall persons driving the i5. Let's talk about the materials here at the door trims, and as in the back, soft touch here at the front. Amazing built-in ambient lighting, so good, nicely hidden. Lever for opening the door, good feel to that one. The classic BMW control panel for controlling all the windows, locking the doors, the side view mirrors, etc. The lower part underneath the hidden speaker, and the speaker is, by the way, stitched in behind a fabric layer. Really nice and sophisticated touch to that one. The bottom part here hides a opener for the boot. You have a small pocket for storing a bottle of water. Classic BMW design with good materials, good touch and feel to everything. It's so well put together. There is no glitches, there's no vibrations, there's no strange sounds, and everything feels to be very sturdy and nicely built. Let's check the operating system and the software inside the BMW i5. If you are used to BMW, you will recognize everything here in the menu system. As I said, the dual layout screen with the instrument cluster to the left and the main screen 14.9 inch to the right. I usually use the iDrive system, the wheel here in the middle to control and to navigate in the menus. You can also use the touchscreen. My recommendation is to always use the iDrive wheel to navigate in the menus, because then you don't need to clutter or grease the screen, and it's a bit far away whilst driving. So this system is really good as a input method when driving. So first off, fully supported Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly, and I have tried out Android Auto, and you get a nice full screen, a full view. Great integration for both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. On top of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you also have applications like Spotify and YouTube for streaming video and music. These applications are a bit more BMW native, so maybe not the best user experience. You don't really get the features you have in Spotify, but it works really good. It's a bit slow sometimes loading, but otherwise it's nice to have it integrated. Other features that's interesting to have a look at is the climate control, for instance. Now it's off, but you have a lot of climate settings, and this is a 4-zone climate system, meaning that you have 4 specific zones, one for the driver, one for the passenger, and one for each passenger at the back seat. Some nice individual settings. For instance, some smartness for the heating, so when there's cold weather outside, you can automatically switch on the steering wheel heater and the seat heating, for instance. Also cooling, if it's too hot outside or inside the cabin, it will automatically turn those features on depending on the weather. One thing that's also interesting to check is the preconditioning. There is schedules for preconditioning. For instance, if you leave for work every Monday to Friday, the same time, you can activate a schedule for that, excluding the weekends, for instance, to heat up the cabin to your desired level every single morning. You can also preheat by using your phone application. Is the charging features that's under, let's see, charging, the sub menu called charging. And there you have something called preheating, really interesting. So you have the different charge modes. For instance, do you want to charge when plugged in immediately, or do you want to schedule it and say that you should only charge between 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. at the evening until 5 a.m. the morning after, if you are on a schedule for your electricity bill. You can have departure plans, meaning that you can set a time when you depart and make sure that the car has enough charge until that specific time. You can also limit the AC charging current. Currently it's turned off, but here you can, if you turn it on, I can actually set the exact amperage for your home charging device if you don't want to shoot the circuits. Of course, also the charging target now set to 100%, not recommended. I think 80 is to be utilized here. You also have the feature unlocking the charge cable when charging schedule is finished and finalized. Also a convenient feature that I want every car to have actually. Then it's just easy to plug it out and put it back to the charger. The best feature yet is of course the preconditioning of the battery pack, and this is preconditioning for charging, for optimizing the charging. This is one of the most important features when you drive electric cars, and this is the thing you need to look for. Battery preheating, preconditioning before fast charging. It automatically activates that when navigating to a quick charger. So the smart thing here is that you can activate it once by clicking at it. So now the battery preconditioning is active, and it says that the battery will be in an optimal temperature range within 20 minutes. Okay, so that's enough of talking. It's time to take this baby for a drive. Will this 340 horsepower be enough for giving you a driving pleasure? Is it silent enough? How about the suspension, the M suspension? Is it too sporty? Is it too soft? The regen, the different drive modes. Let's have a look. Let's take it for a drive, and you immediately feel that this is a BMW. So the i5 drives as the other cars. It's a bit heavier, I mean 2.2 tons. You feel that when you drive it. And this one is equipped with the M Sport suspension. So it's a bit lower and a bit stiffer than the regular suspension. But I must say that I'm surprised over how soft it is anyway. It doesn't feel harsh, it doesn't feel too bumpy, and it's still a bit leaning in the corners, and the body roll is still present. Don't worry about a too harsh experience, because it's not. I still think it's softer than a lot of other cars. I think this heavy car, the heavy beast, needs this kind of suspension. It needs it to be a bit more stiffer than the standard suspension. I prefer this one over the standard suspension. I think this is better matched for this specific car. So now driving on the sport mode, and there is a additional amount of power to be released if you activate the boost mode. Boost mode is something you activate by pressing the paddle behind the left side of the steering wheel, called boost, and that actually activates some extra power, makes the car a bit more aggressive for 10 seconds. So that's perfect if you want to race at a traffic light, or if you want to take over another vehicle on the motorway in a safe way. Then you get all the power active immediately, gets more aggressive, more prone to the accelerator. You just need to gently touch it and it explodes. So that's a fun feature. And was talking about explosiveness and accelerator, the BMW is good at building immediate power when pressing the accelerator. It's one of the few cars, one of the few brands that manages to do that. I mean, giving you the amount of power immediately when pressing the accelerator, and this is without any delays at all. You press it and it comes immediately. You press it and it explodes. Press, explode. That's impressive, and that's so immediate. Some brands doesn't manage that. It adds some delay to the accelerator. So you floor it, takes a half or 1 second before you get the power. This one, immediate. And that's liberating, a good feeling. Thank you, BMW. Do you hear that chime? You get warnings if you drive a bit too fast. It starts beeping, BMW has managed that in a great way. You have two ways. You can turn that off on the screen. Takes time to find that. Easy way, you hold the set button for 3 seconds to the left on the steering wheel, and that one deactivates the functionality immediately. If you hold it again for 3 seconds, you reactivate the function. But you don't need to worry about the reactivation, because it will reactivate every time you start over again. So every time you jump into the car, this function will be reactivated. There's nothing you can do about it. The good thing is that BMW have implemented a way where it's very easy to deactivate that function. Thank you. Great implementation. I wish every manufacturer could do that, because it really helps out for the annoyance and the avoidance of irritating the driver. I don't know if you hear that, but I have activated the artificial sounds for accelerating. Normally, I hate artificial sounds, but I'm really trying to get used to it here in the i5. And I must say that a lot of manufacturers try to simulate a classic engine sound or a classic engine characteristics. This is the power sound. But BMW have really managed, together with Hans Zimmer, to create sounds that's more arty, different from engine sounds. And I like that. And if I was forced to choose one artificial sound, I would choose BMW sound. And probably the sound used in the drive mode Sport, or maybe the expressive sound. That's also very strange. Almost like a scary movie. Some mystics to it. Almost like the THX sound at the cinemas. Let's try that again. That's fun, very different. And I like when they try to do something new, something different, and that's what I have done here. Let's switch over to the eco mode, or efficiency mode as it is called here in the BMW. Still plenty of power. The output doesn't seem to limit the output. That's good. So there is no like slowness to the drive mode. What I feel though is that the power doesn't come that immediate. You don't get the same punch as you get when driving on sports mode. Picks up a bit slower, more like a combustion engine effect. As soon as you enter the sport mode, it gives you the power more immediate, more like a punch in the rear. You get all the 340 horsepower that quick. So the eco mode or the efficiency mode is a bit slower. Not slow in the way that it's boring or frustrating, because it never feels frustrating to drive this car. I think the balance is well managed, and the driving fun, the driving experience is still present. And that's one of the key points when driving and buying a BMW. I guess that's what you want. So let's talk about the regenerative braking. This is one of the most important aspects when driving fully electric. I always talk about this, and I think it's so important. And BMW is one of the brands that really cares about regenerative braking and understands it. There's two main modes, and that's on the drive mode selector. You have something called D and something called B. D for drive, B for brake. If you put it into B, you always get maximum recuperation set to high. That's the one pedal driving functionality. So if you let go of the accelerator, the car will come to a fully stop. If you put it back into D, you can actually, in the menus, choose by different modes. You have something called low, moderate, and high. If you put it into high, you get the same functionality as in B. There is a fourth mode called adaptive. And adaptive is exactly as it sounds. It adapts depending on where you are, how you drive, and the condition you are in for the moment. So for instance, when I drive, don't have any car in front of me, let go of the accelerator, it starts coasting. So now it just coasts. That's good. But in traffic, it will brake since I have cars in front of me. So that's a mode more for people that don't want to care about regen or just wanted to adapt. The simple way, drive it in B, you will get full one-pedal driving, letting go of the accelerator, and it comes to a fully stop in a very convenient way. So BMW is one of the best car makers utilizing a real one-pedal driving. A one-pedal driving that you really can trust and get to know. I mean, it works the same way all the time. It is not progressive, it's linear, it's easy to understand, it's easy to drive. And when you get used to it, you will never want to drive it in any other regenerative mode whatsoever. So easy. Drive it in B. The nice thing is that the fully stop is so smooth. It's so smooth, you don't even feel it stopping. So nicely implemented. Okay, so it's getting dark. It's time to summarize my experience with the BMW i5 eDrive 40. I must say that I'm impressed the same way as I was impressed with the i4 M50 I tried a couple of months ago or half a year ago, last summer maybe. What's making me impressed is that BMW somehow manages to build a fully electric car on a hybrid or a mixed platform. So the purpose of this platform, the main purpose at least, is not to build electric vehicles. It's to build combustion engines or hybrid cars. That's why you have that long bonnet or long hood compared to the whole body of the car. So a lot of space actually goes to waste. And that's one of the downsides of building cars on such a platform. But despite that, BMW manages to do a full package that really works good. The smoothness of the drivetrain, the silent cabin, the driving experience, the dynamics, the granularity in the accelerator, the brakes, everything is so finely tuned. I think that's a hard equation to fix and to control. But still they manage to do that somehow. I don't understand how. On paper, it shouldn't be as good as it really feels. This car really competes with the fully electric platforms. I mean, like the ID.7, the EQE from Mercedes. This is not worse in any way. Maybe the interior cabin space compared to the full length of the car. I still think when it comes to charging, when it comes to driving dynamics, speed, performance, comfort, it still pulls off and it still scores well in every category possible. I haven't mentioned the price. This specific car costs 1.1 million Swedish crowns or 85-ish thousand euros in Germany. The base version, the eDrive 40, costs or starts at 70,000 euros or 815,000 Swedish crowns. So it's still a expensive car, so the starting price is high. And as every BMW car available on the market, or most German brands, you need to add a lot to the specifications to get what you actually want. So this one has the comfort package, the M package, the premium sound system, the panoramic glass roof, and all this, of course, adds a lot to the base price. I want to hear your view on the BMW i5. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the exterior? Is it too dull? Too subtle changes compared to the older models? Or are the changes too big? Let us have a discussion. What do you think about the price point and the actual delivered quality? Does it live up to your expectations? Does the price meet your expectations, the functionality, the total package of the i5? Let us have a discussion. Really important, and I really want to hear your thoughts. So, as I always say, subscribe, like, and engage. This is important to help me stay unfiltered, independent, and do what I do best. So that's it. Don't forget to stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.